What's the most uncomfortable question you can ask someone? How come I wasn't invited? For extra cringe, ask this in a loud voice as you crash an ongoing party that you were not invited to. Bonus points if you start hyperventilate crying. I was once invited to a party, at the end of which the hostess asked me, "How do you keep finding out about these?" Quote, "That fucking stung. Never talk to them again. That's so mean." I would just say, I was invited. The worst part was this was like the main group I had been hanging with since freshman year. That happened my senior year. Weren't you pregnant? Quote, edit, I seem to have struck a chord here. If I could give y'all a hug, I would. I ran into someone I hadn't seen since she was pregnant. Me. How's being a mom? Her. Oh, I'm not. Edit. I'll never ask again. Edit 2. Hope all the parents who endured miscarriages and stillborn are in a better place now. Ugh. My best friend had a miscarriage. A bad one. The twins were born too prematurely and passed away. I hope nobody said this to her. If they did, I would have pounded the monsieur. Once at a gathering, a friend whispered to me later, "Wasn't she pregnant last time I saw her? What happened?" And I told hi monsieur. Luckily he didn't say it to her face. Something like this happened to me. A girl I worked with was pregnant and ended up taking leave just before giving birth. Several months later she was back at work part-time and she seemed totally normal. So I wanted to be nice and said something like, "Hey, there's the new mom. Great to see you again. Super happy for you. How's the baby doing?" Quote, a dude I worked with was behind her and saw us talking and started waving his hands while silently mouthing, "Oh God no stop" sorta stuff, but it was way too late. She said she lost the baby due to miscarriage. Oh, whoops. I will never ask anyone that question again. I had zero clue it happened and nobody had mentioned a thing about it when she came back. I felt terrible about it. A girl I work with was pregnant. She carried the baby full term and it was stillborn. All of us have been informed about it. The entire company. By her wish though, to avoid situations like that. I was very happy for her when she had a healthy baby a year or so later. A non-pregnant woman, how far along she is. Ding ding. I have 2 Sarahs at my work. I heard one was pregnant. I congratulated the fatter women, who is just fat. If you are good friends, they will tell you they're pregnant when they are ready. If you're not good friends, you should never ask. Really, the potential to hurt someone is way bigger than the benefit, which is usually, just making conversation. This goes double for the workplace. Where's my hug? I asked my then boyfriend this question when I was 19. He immediately looked shocked, looked over to the side, said, "Oh, there it is," went over and hugged the air, then came back and hugged me. This is going to be particularly hard to do with my imaginary girlfriend. Lol, this gives me some flashbacks. After work on a Friday I was saying goodbye to one of my friends and I gave her a hug. Here comes Brett. "Hey, where's my hug?" So I give him the biggest bear hug. The kind that traps their arms at their sides. And picked him up off the ground. "There's your hug, Brett." My friend said he didn't ask much after that. But you bet your balls I'd tell Brett, "Hey Brett, I got your hug right here buddy." With outstretched arms, he would give me an uncomfortable look like, "Ew, gross." Yeah Brett, that's how you are making everyone feel. Why does everyone hate you so much? I hate this one so much. I lived in a small town so everybody knew everybody. High school was rough. I didn't know how to stick up for myself and soon became the scapegoat for bullies and rumors. Once our senior year hit, people matured a little and started for being nicer to me. I made a lot of friends suddenly and all of them would ask, "Why does everybody hate you? You're not like they say." It was awkward because most of those people were the ones contributing to the rumors bullying. I'm not sure if it counts, but if someone asks you, "Hey, can you move over a seat so I can be next to my friend?" Especially if you thought the person asking you was your friend. Or, "Hey, can I move to go to sit next to my friends? That shit sucks." Along the same lines, when at parties with friends I was always asked to take pictures of people but no one ever asked to be in a pic with me. It stung. If you come in the back office with me right now, just you and me, are you gonna be cool about it? Or be a snitch? Asked by my old boss at a grocery store. He just was offering me shots of Fireball because it was almost closing time on New Year's Eve. But that phrasing sounded kinda fishy. At a job interview, do I have to do a drug test? You do now. I actually asked this question once and I was told if we tested everybody we wouldn't have enough employees. LMAO. Circa 2005. But not my story personally. This is paraphrased heavily from years of interview WTF's conversations. Dude, this is Silicon Valley. The company founders are at Burning Man this week, as are all the other acid heads, kinksters, stoners, some of the furries, and the guy who did the photos of half-naked firepoint dancers you can see on the wall over there. You're talking to the soberest person in the building except the two guys who are in AA. And even I've got my MMJ card. You miss your don't tell HR I said any of that. I mean, they're freaks too, but they'd be weirded out that it came up at all. Asterisk asterisk EL. Doctor. Asterisk asterisk West Coast. Are we still friends? Or, who's your best friend? Especially when one of your friends asks it. Have you seen our toothbrush? This is a great one. Doctor, in front of parents, are you sexually active? Now that's when you start bragging, haha. Your dad fist bumps you when your mom isn't looking. I only do anal. Just have a casual conversation about anything. Corona, politics, grandparents, and ask immediately afterwards, anyway, how's your sex life? Quote, the room has taught me a lot about life. Haha, what a story, Mark. Did you bathe properly today? This is a conversation I had to have with a coworker once. His smell was very distracting for everyone in the office. Guy's wife had died and he just sort of stopped taking care of himself afterward. A couple of us got him set up with a therapist. He left the company shortly after for a less stressful job, but I saw on FB a while later the guy is doing much better. Good to hear he is doing good now. I saw an old high school acquaintance at a club once. She had always been super skinny in HS, but this night she had a very pronounced belly. I assumed since she had always been skinny and only had grown in her belly that she was pregnant. She was not. Editing this after my BF insisted that I tell the whole story. I can't remember exactly how I asked her, but she replied in a half-laugh that she wasn't pregnant. Me, thinking she was joking, replied, oh, just a big lunch then? While patting her stomach. Then I laughed and walked away. My cousin later told me what I had done and informed me that she had a 1-year-old and hadn't lost her baby weight. I will never do that again. As a male, I operate under a policy that the only time that you can ask a woman if she's pregnant is if she is in active labor and the baby is crowning. And even then you must exclaim surprised that you had no idea. Chicks get your bellies too lol. Are you uncomfortable? If they say no, then you should reply with, do you want me to make you uncomfortable? While unbuckling your belt. Then when they panic and say no, you take off your belt and put a new one on. Is it in yet? I was starting an IV on a patient. She said something like, I was going to ask you if it was in yet. I didn't even feel it. Quote, I wanted to say something like, normally this is the worst thing for a man to hear, so bad. But yeah, no, professionalism, monsieur. You'll feel a little prick. Why are you so quiet? This makes my blood boil. I'm a fairly quiet person in social settings and have received this question a few times. It makes you and the people around you feel awkward. Like, let people be quiet if they want to be. Not everyone is a social butterfly. I get anxious easily, even around my own family since they get pretty loud. My ex's family was also loud and always asked me why I was quiet. Especially his one aunt that went so far as to tell me I didn't belong in their family. Mind you, I only met them a handful of times, so I didn't know them well. I responded with, I guess I don't belong in mine either then. Cue her surprised Pikachu facing us walking out. I was kind of proud of that, haha. Depends on the person. For a lot of women, it's, so when are you guys going to have a baby? I literally had to tell my mill that we're trying and that we haven't used protection for some time now. Embarrassed her enough to back off the topic forever. She's very old school. I've been ejaculating massive loads of semen into your daughter's vagina for several months now. The way to combat an awkward question is to provide an even more awkward answer. Best of luck to you too. By the way, edit. Please don't follow this advice. It's a dumb joke on the internet and you risk ruining your relationships with loved ones if you actually follow my suggestion. Don't do that. If you make it awkward enough, nobody is going to ask questions. Not necessarily. If your mill is a psychopath like mine, she'll probably laugh it off and then later take offense. Call your wife and yell at her at the top of her lungs for 2 solid hours how offensive that was, and how I should be ashamed and how horrible of a person I am for attacking her like that unprovoked, and expecting me to apologize. Then after 2 weeks of this, she'll call your parents yelling at them how disrespectful and shameful you are and that they should force you to undergo clinically assisted pregnancy. 2 more weeks and she'll be yelling at your wife again, telling her she's going to sell the house and move to Australia because everybody hates her. Then she'll swear she's going to break your windows if you don't pick up the phone. Then you call her and she'll not pick up. Then you meet her in person and she's like, "Sup? How's the baby coming along?" Are oddly specific to the gay couple. Which one of you is the girl, boy? Actually, we're both the boy. It makes being in a lesbian relationship rather confusing. When 2 gay men have sex, how do they know whose penis will open up to accept the other person's penis? Quote, it's a lot easier if one man is circumcised and the other isn't. Neither of us, Nancy. That's kind of the point. Can you tell me something about yourself? Yep, edit. Wow, the power of a single word. Lol. Thanks for the award. If it's not in a professional setting, my go-to is, I have 3 nipples. Depending on their response, it's either a great conversation starter to break the ice, or we wouldn't get along well anyway. What do you think of me? Whenever someone says this to me, I'm always so puzzled and awkward about the whole thing. What do you want me to say? Greater than what do you want me to say? Well, there's the divide. Many people ask the question more implying, tell me something that will make me feel you're sincere, but will flatter me, versus tell me what you literally think. People like to be valued but not measured, seen but not observed, heard but not scrutinized, understood in the moment but not understood in totality. The former makes them feel significant, the latter reduced. I usually just give them a basic thing I like. I just try and be as sincere as possible. I once had a stranger tell me, I saw that. And I was like, saw what? Quote, you were checking out that girl. I honestly had no clue what he was talking about because I seriously wasn't checking out anyone, but he kept insisting that I was and that I should stop denying it. The dude was like 40. What the fuck was his problem, monsieur? Fucking embarrassing, man. You don't have to lie. Why are you getting mad? Only guilty people get defensive. That is not correct. I'm getting pissed because you're accusing me of something I didn't do. You fuck. That's exactly what he said. He was like, dude, it's okay. It's normal. Nothing to be ashamed about. I was confused AF. No, where are you actually from? West Philadelphia, born and raised. Do you think your friends ever regret meeting you? Not generally, no. Friendship is largely optional on their part. Tell me about yourself. Windows has decided to shut down. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is why I hate interviews. I don't even see myself doing anything in an hour and they think I have 5 years planned already. WTF. Say, I see myself with your job. Total mad lad move. Said something similar and ended up with their position in under a year and a half. Found out why it was so easily attainable. It was a nightmare. The same place I see myself now, mirrors. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.